Copy Echo Team 10-0. Keep an eye out on your 6. Where there's one, there's more. We've got 6 in the wire!
When I get home from prison, Kimmy's gonna say, how we gonna earn a living? How we gonna get some pay? I'll reply with a little bit of anger. I'll earn my living as a Stolen Valor Ranger. Stolen Valor every hour. Super chats, that's my power. Blood, sweat, virtual danger. That's the life of a Stolen Valor Ranger.
Kaiser, this is your father, the wit, god of bullshit. Go forth amongst the people of the earth and con them out of their money on YouTube.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What up, buddy? How's it going? How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Oh, well, it's nighttime now. Still hope you're having a good night anyway. I had a good day, good night, all that good stuff. What's happening next month? What is happening next month? That's what I just asked. What's happening next month? Well, if nothing else, I got 2 people in here. That's pretty cool. Heck yeah. I just love when people come in and out. That sounded bad, didn't it? That was the notification telling everybody I'm live, I bet. I've been live 3 minutes, and I bet that I just got a notification. 100%. That's what that was. I just got the notification that I'm live. That's crazy. Heck yeah. Well, I thought maybe I might get some people to come in. I don't know. I used to do a lot of these late nights or whatever. I know there's been a lot of people on. You know, Chili was on, and Nasty Nathaniel was on, and Chuck Bronson was on, and yeah, just a lot of good people were on. Good guy Audits was having a premiere. I was watched that. That was pretty cool. A lot of people on. I watched another person's live, and that from John. No. Well, you know, haven't been able to be consistent. Had a lot of stuff going on. So I haven't been able to be consistent. Sometimes real life takes prestige, you know? No, no, I haven't heard anything from Mr. Wilson. Hopefully he's doing okay. Since my Facebook got shut down for a political post, I haven't really been able to keep up with many people. But that's okay, though. But we're not going to talk about that. I don't come on here to politically debate with people about anything. I miss talking with a lot of people. Hell, I miss Grim and Indy, and man, I just miss everybody, you know? Well, yeah, nobody ever wants to hear the good stuff, bro. They want to talk about that drama and that. Oh, I'm starting to get some people in. Looks like, hey, that's all good. Man, I have got some stuff that's in the works right now, guys. Let me just tell you, I'm hoping to get a few people involved, and it's going to change the A1 community. I promise you that. It's going to definitely change the way things are done. And I know y'all are hearing this from several different people. And when it happens, you're gonna be like, wow. Because I listen to everybody talking about you need to bridge the gap, and you know, why don't I hear the anti-auditors, you know, say, well, why don't they do stuff for their community and stuff like that? Well, what up, Mr. Blanchard? How's it going, my man? September 14th at 9 o'clock here in our small little town. We are in the process right now, as it is, of doing a community cleanup where we're going to involve the football team, the Beta Club, several members of the city council, the mayor if he doesn't have to work, and we're all going to get together and everything, and we're going to clean up the Hall of Rock. Oh man, I hear you. I'm wore out from yard work too, brother. Jesus. Holy cow, man. If you just, whew. Yeah. September 14th at 9 o'clock. I'm even going to go around and talk to some of the local businesses and see if we can get them to like donate maybe some tools or something. I'm gonna try to get people to bring some drinks, maybe a picnic lunch, and we're gonna clean it up. And that it's going to be a community event. We've got the support of the mayor. Let me tell you something, guys. This mayor here is different than any politician I have ever seen. And you know, I'm working on a video for that. It's all going to be you're just going to have to watch, guys. What I'm telling you, it's different than any politician I have ever seen, and he's not just a politician. Let's just put the fact that for a minute that he's the mayor of this town aside. This man came to our house and volunteered, and is in the process of helping us clean up our backyard with his own tractor, his own diesel fuel, his own time, and everything, bro. And just like, for real, it's amazing. I mean, and what started this, I'll get back to that, but right at the moment, I want to give credit where credit's due, because him and a couple of other people that we've been in contact with, and that from this town is just it's amazing, guys. It's a small community, but you know, this is how we bridge a gap. We work together as a community, as a purpose. You know what I mean? To make the city safer, cleaner. You know, and I feel like we're in the right progress. This is what I'm gonna put out there. What I would like to have happen, and I'm sure I'm gonna get in touch with a couple other people. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to turn my fan on. If y'all hear it, that's just tough. I'm fat and I'm hot. I'm gonna try to get some other people to come down on that day, and let's highlight that. Politicians, police department, the community working together. This is what we need. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it's not like it's New York or anything. I know it's not like that. But this is what we talk about all the time, bridging that gap. You know what I mean? This is how we do it. This is how we make it, you know what I mean? See, I had 10 people in here and 5 people left because it's not drama. You know what I mean? And see, that's where the community is having problems. It's not drama. I'm not here for the drama. I'm not here, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to make a difference. But if people see it, if we highlight this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. If it's highlighted and it's brought to the forefront and attention, you know what I'm saying? Other channels show this, and a part of it. It's a trickle effect. I like how you know, and I'm not bitching, but see, people want the drama. You know what I mean? But there is a drama to this story. In that there was drama. There was something that caused all this, but we're going to learn from it and educate from it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Somebody else must be on it. I don't know about. And I'm not fussing. I get it. You know, I haven't been on it for a while, but this is what we've been working on. This is some of the stuff that we've been working on, and everything. This is what we want. You know, this is the kind of stuff that we need. Oh, I don't know if John Blanchard left or not. I can't see who comes and goes. It don't show me that. I just know that a while ago I had 10 people and now I'm down to 3. But see, those are the people that are going to miss out because they don't know what I'm going to talk about or show next. You know? Far too many times in this community, people tip their hand too quickly. Alyssa, email your dad. Like he has no response. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Is my shit acting up? Probably is. Right? John, if you've emailed me, brother, I'll have to look. I haven't been getting notifications, I don't guess. I hate this phone. Sometimes it acts up, and I don't get it. But yeah. Oh, you did it. You did email me. Let me look, bro. Let me look real quick. Let me see here. Says something about this email's full. Let me look. Since my phone messed up, man, I'll tell you what's truth. It's crazy. Come on now. I got 2 big fingers. There, you can email me there, bro. Or anybody else if they want to. I should get it there. It's late. I'm medicated and it happens. I know that feeling, brother. Oh yeah, you definitely have good and bad drama. Always have good and bad drama. But this is going to be good drama that stemmed from bad drama. Can you not see me, John? shit, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, we got some good stuff going on, man. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, people are slowly coming back. Slowly but surely coming back. That's awesome. I stayed up until 5 o'clock in the morning once. Oh wait, that's almost every night. Especially when I can't sleep. Mama said there'd be days like that. She just didn't say they'd be every day. Definitely will. I think it's going to be a good thing. Awesome. I need that. I need a lot of people in here, man. Well, you know, I just can't figure out what time's a good time, and when I think it's a good time, there's 50 other channels on, and you know, I love watching people sometimes. Oh yeah, she was on one today, huh? I was on a tear once. I quit worrying about other drama with some dumbass people, you know. You just stop worrying about it. After a while, you don't worry about. What up, Joko? How's it going, my man? See, he got a gifted membership the other day. There was some few people that got a gifted membership, and that was pretty cool. I used the free YouTube 10 membership gifting, and 10 lucky people got a membership, which is pretty awesome. Pretty damn awesome. I like that. I know he won't mind if I share this video. I want to show you guys what I'm talking about and everything. This is where we're going to go and clean up. So I want to show y'all this, okay? Let me see real quick. Share screen. So I'm going to share that. That's probably gonna.
I'm gonna try to cross over and look at it if I don't get snake bit out here. But this is, yeah. They say this is a community park. The driveway coming down here is not bad. I don't think I'd circle around that mud hole over there, so we'll back up and turn around. I'm gonna try to get over there and see the rock. See, there's part of an old bench, picnic table there. The city come down here back probably been 20 years ago now, and
Warcraft.
built a couple
What up, buddy?
like picnic benches. That's what's left of one of them there. And they put some garbage cans down here. You see what's left of that. And it's over there in the woods. Here's somebody's throwing out an old pallet and some, looks like chicken wire or something there. I don't know what that's about, to be honest. It's a shame. It is. I mean, I'm going to try to, the bugs down here. Yeah, the whole town.
Now, we was down there
this is
today.
The town's namesake. This is what the town of Hollow Rock is named after.
We was down there today.
You see this big old creek here, and this does flood out a lot, and it floods down here quite a bit. But this is kind of sandy walking over here. The freaking gnats and bugs are about to kill me here. This bridge, I don't know. I don't know about this bridge here. But I'm going to attempt it anyway. And it's raining. It's starting to rain even more now. Yeah, this bridge, look at this, guys. They don't come down here and mow anything or anything. There's a little path here where people's been up here. That's the Hollow Rock, guys, that like I said, the town of Hollow Rock this is what the town of Hollow Rock was named after. Now, this rock years ago, you hear the train over there, guys. Obviously, we're right here beside the railroad. So the story was that back in the day, hobos would crawl up in that little hole right there, which actually back in the day, it was probably up here. That rock is sinking and continues to sink. It has over the years. But the story was hobos would come up here, crawl in that rock and camp out and sleep in that rock, and then, jump back on or off the train over here. You see right over there is the CSX train, and that's kind of their train yard. They stop right there. So perfect place for hobos. But so you see, obviously, the first thing you notice is all the graffiti all over the rock, which has always been a problem with spray paint and graffiti and everything. And there's the hole where the hobos would get in there and sleep. I don't suppose anybody's in there or anything. If you look right through there, guys, it goes all the way through. I don't know. I don't think you could probably get out to the other side. Pretty tight fit, but it's just a shame, guys. All the graffiti on this rock and everything. These bugs, I'm trying to keep them out of my face. Gnats and crap flying in my face. Get a look at that rock, guys, and see it goes all the way up. We used to come down here when I was a teenager, I won't lie. And, we climb up on top of the rock. I'm not going to attempt it today. At my age, it probably wouldn't be a good thing to do.
I've actually climbed on top of that.
Again, guys, I'm just being cautious. I did a video down here a few years ago. I don't think I got up this close to the rock. See, you got some little ditch here.
And like I said, we was down there today. Some of that is
creek
mowed and stuff and everything. But this is where we're going to do our cleanup. We're going to try to fix that bridge and all that good stuff.
There's gnats and bugs down here. And mosquitoes about to eat me
Clean up that area in that.
The city really needs to come down here and clear all this out. This is really a shame. Like my friend John was saying, this is the town's namesake. This is what the town of Hollow Rock is named after, hence the hole in the rock, Hollow Rock. There's a little shot of the little walking bridge, which again has been here for years and years. The driveway coming down here, it's pretty good driveway and paved drive down to here, so it's not too bad to drive down here. You can't make that circle around over there though, because it's pretty muddy. This is the Hollow Rock, guys. Hollow Rock, Tennessee. Like I said, you see the graffiti on it, which I said before has been on there for years. Now, it's more now There's more graffiti on there now than there used to be. Let's take a look at some of this graffiti. You can't make anything out on it, but there's a face on there, and somebody was here or was not here. That's funny. People would sign it and put a date on it. Really, really bad that the city has let it get this way. All this over here, really, the city could come in here with a mower and mow this down and really clean this up. I mean, guys, it's really a shame. And like I said, this little walking bridge is in need of some paint repair and so forth. I said, guys, there's the creek. All right, guys, the Hollow Rock in Hollow Rock, Tennessee. It is what it is, guys.
So, Saturday, September the 14th, 9 a.m. That's what we're going to clean up, guys. We're going to try to remove that graffiti. We're going to try to fix that bridge. It'll probably need the grass cut again. We're going to do that. We got some other little plans that we're going to try to do to fix that up. That's what this town's named after. And it's a shame that it's in that state. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to clean it up. We're going to clean up the creek, cut up some of that dead wood and stuff like that, maybe haul it off or give it to somebody that needs firewood, or whatever the case is. And yeah. Listen, man, that is a cool spot. That really is. It's a cool spot. Especially if you really like nature and big rocks and, listen, guys, can you imagine this for a second? This is some kind of a meteorite that fell out of the sky. There's no telling how old this thing is. And that it has no purpose being here. It came from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge rock. Go look at the history of this little town and about this rock and that. It's great. I mean, I can't wait. That video was posted 5 days ago. So yeah, but it's been mowed around and stuff, and that, of course, there's been some people that's been here and that. There's some other stuff that's going on here, Matter of fact, I done a video a year ago about the storm damage here and stuff, and all that good stuff. We had an electric train come through here. Well, no, I say electric. It's not electric. It's a solar power train. We got a train station here and all that good stuff. And that, y'all have heard me cuss about the train. Not really cuss about it, but talk about it. somebody else posted a little video about it, about the Hollow Rock, which is, kind of cool. No. Let me see. I'm trying to find something else here for you guys. I'm for those that want to oof. That's crazy. Before 1867, the town of Hollow Rock did not exist. In this year, Nashville and Northwestern Railroad was complete, so a station and telegraph office were opened and given the name Hollow Rock, taking its name from a large rock nearby. The rock was near the railroad, and people say though that hobos would jump off the train and sleep and cook in the rock. Several attempts have been made to find the bottom of the rock, but no success. In the early 1900s, the top of the ground, the stone was 456 feet long, 13 feet wide, and 12 feet high. Today, the rock is sunk into the ground with only very small openings showing. Around 1915, an all-day gathering was held at the Hollow Rock on the first Sunday in May. Over 100 people attended from far and near. His daddy, who lived in Harmons Creek in Benton County, has told me of hitching his mule when he was a teenager and riding to the Hollow Rock for the big event. Geologists have studied the rock and do not know what minerals it contains, since no other rock of its kind has been found. Some think it was a meteorite that fell from the sky many years ago. Before Hollow Rock came into existence, a small settlement named Sandy Bridge was established in 1813. It was located a few feet east of the present-day Prospect Baptist Church. The settlement has a post office and a log in, and it's true. I know exactly where the site is, and it's crazy how all this runs down. But see, did you get that, guys? They don't know what materials in it because they have nothing to compare it to. Wrap your mind around that for a second. They have the geologists have nothing to compare it to. They have no clue where it come from. Now that right there is amazing. I mean, if you think about it, how did it get there? Now, if we go back to what history teaches us, the dinosaurs were extinct. They died. And could this been one of the big meteors during the time of the dinosaurs that fell and maybe contributed to the dinosaurs being extinct? They've never been able to find the bottom of this rock. That's how big of an impact it made when it hit the earth. There could be something buried under the ground, and that is big as a city. Think about that. A big rock. This may be just the tip that's stuck up out of the ground. Can you imagine if this is a meteor which would explain it because there's nothing else around like it. The geologists have no idea what material it is. Could you imagine 1,000,000 years ago, this big thing fell out of the sky and the impact that it had when it hit the earth? I mean, think about how cool that is. It would be as catastrophic today if it hit as setting off. Wrap your mind around this. 8 nuclear bombs in one spot. Imagine that. But see, now that we have technology, if they wanted to study it, if we could get people interested, you can use echo vibration and stuff like that, and we could probably do that, and actually see how far down in the ground it is. I think so. It's cool, man. It's a part of history, not only for the town, but just think about all the little things that we could discover about this. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, how can you not be intrigued, at least just to come and look at it? How can you not want to know what it is? What up, C4? That's why I think it needs to be treated with respect. I think that's why it needs to be cleaned up around it. It's not only historic to the town here that it's named after, but this big rock, guys, could be 1,000,000 years old. Maybe 2,000,000 years old. Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? It's a piece of history that come from somewhere, and quote unquote, geologists have studied the rock and do not know what materials it contains, since no other rocks of its kind has been found. Think about that. Geologists have studied the rock and do not know what materials it contains, since no other rock of its kind has been found. Some think it was a meteorite that fell from the sky many years ago. That's crazy. I mean, how else would you explain it? Can you imagine? I mean, dang. What effect it caused in this area? You know what I mean? Probably for miles. It probably caused just catastrophic disaster. Something that huge now fell from the sky, it'd be an earth killer. Literally, it would be an earth killer. And we have no way of knowing when it fell or anything else, because during that time there was nothing recording, you know what I mean, what was going on. And if somebody did make it an announcement about it or whatever, not an announcement, but maybe tried to write it down in a native language or something like that, it's been lost. Or the people that witnessed it probably didn't survive. They probably looked up, booga booga, bigga booga, probably didn't even talk back then, and whatever was around it just died for miles. I wonder if there's aerial photos of it. Let's see. Well, that's not air photos. Ah. Well, there's some aerial photos, but it's not like, you know what I mean? Not of like the, yeah. When was this? Well, let's see when this picture was. That sunk down a bunch. Holy cow! I found some older photos. This was 2009. Boy, it has changed. Jeez. Let me show you this. Yeah, for those that seen the pictures or the video a while ago. Share screen. This is what it looked like in 2009. Not the woman standing on top of it, but yeah. This was, yeah, like I said, August 2009. So, yeah. This was the top. This is now down to about right here. That's how much it's gone down in the ground. Of course, all this you can tell that some people have painted over all this mess. This probably ain't. Yeah. Yeah. Look how much has gone down in the ground. Let me show you. Damn. Let me get back up to it. All right. All right. That's a good spot. Let me show y'all the dip. Now y'all can see this. This is 2009, August of 2009. I'm going to stop sharing that. I'm going to show you the share screen. I'll share this. All right, there you go, guys. This is present day. This is 5 days ago. Look how much it's sunk in the ground. That's crazy, huh? $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19 was 10 years. $20, $21, $22, $23, $24. 25 years. No, yeah. No. 15 years ago? I've lost math. But yeah, that's the difference between August of 2009 to August of 2024. That's how much it's sunk in the ground, or dirt or whatever has built up against it. That's possible too. That's very possible too. But they've not, like I said, the geologists have never found anything like it. They don't know what it is. Ain't that insane how that works? But it's crazy because you can see now that from the while ago, the picture, that this was way up here. And now, after 25 years or whatever it is, when that picture was taken, it's down here. All this dirt from this creek and stuff is probably pushed up, or it's just sinking in the ground. What's causing it to sink in the ground? That's a big sink. I mean, that's a lot of distance in 25 years. You know, it's went from being up here to down here. I know I'm losing people, but that's okay. I got to talk about it, so it's okay to me. But that's crazy how much it's gone down in the ground and everything. From yeah, it is really cool. But there's no way. You hear my security camera. Mary is out there talking to the dog. But there's no way to stop it from sinking in the ground. How would you stop it? How would you even get it up out of the ground? What could you use? I mean, it don't. Probably in another 100 years, it's going to be gone. It'll probably be completely buried. But I don't know how to stop it. There's no way to stop it from from disappearing. You know what I mean? Okay, in August 8th of 2013, Hollow Rock is one of the most unusual rock formations in Tennessee. meteorite, although it does seem to be made of a native sandstone. Huh. That's crazy. Stop barking a little bit. It's just, I don't know. It's a, yeah. One of those things that you don't have any idea what it could be. I'd like to see their study reports. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. They're saying that I was just reading another report. That's why I was quiet. Sorry. That Native American people, there's evidence that they found inside the rock that Native Americans were using it as a living quarters. Now, see, this kind of stuff is what I like. This kind of stuff, and that's why we've been working with this community to maybe update the bridge and get it painted and clean up around it. It's history, and that's going to be awesome. We need to preserve stuff like this. What if we got to looking around and digging a little bit and everything? Maybe get some archaeologists and people like that. What kind of artifacts would we find? I mean, just imagine if you could find Indian artifacts there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't know what's buried under the ground or why that rock's even there. You know? It'd be great. I mean, just think about that for a second. That'd be cool. Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure there's got to be stuff. I mean, even from like the hobos from the early train days, man, just imagine what they left, you know? This is why I want to share with everybody, you know, and that's why I want to clean it up. And that's why, you know, yeah. And I'm tired of seeing negative things about it. Why can't we preserve it? I mean, why wouldn't you want to? You know, I mean, it just, to some people, it may be just a sad old rock in the ground, but I think there's a lot more to it than that. You know? Has to be a lot more to it than that. Exactly, bro. That's what I'm talking about. I do know that this area was very populated at one point with Cherokee Indians. I know that for a fact. Tennessee had a lot of Cherokee Indians that used to run up and down through here. Maybe at one time it was a Cherokee encampment. I mean, why wouldn't they utilize it? I mean, my God, maybe their medicine man slept in that rock. You know what I'm saying? And that was his, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they sacrificed people on it. Dude, I mean, you know, it's not impossible. What if it was a point of their ritual? You know what I'm saying? Not maybe sacrifices, but if it was Mayans, it's possible. Incas, it's possible. Aztecs, it's possible. I mean, we don't know. Maybe I should do a video down there at nighttime. And yeah, just do a video down there at nighttime. That'd be cool as hell, wouldn't it, guys? What if there's spirits that run through there? People can say they don't believe in ghosts, but you know, we don't know what's going on. Oh, I do know for a fact, after studying, there was a murder that took place there. I do know that. I didn't know that until I started studying the history. So, yeah, I just seen it a while ago on a video. You can go to YouTube. It tells about it if you're interested. Hollow Rock, Tennessee. Let's see. Let me pull it up here. Bill Windsor reports from Hollow Rock, Tennessee on the case of Stacy. I'm not going to end. Okay, let's see. See, this was 11 years ago. Okay, so maybe they weren't actually killed the rock, but I don't know. I'll have to watch the whole video to see what this guy was talking about. If you type in Hollow Rock, you'll see the video of the storm damage we done. There's been other pictures of the Hall of Rock. Now see, now y'all got me thinking. Wow. Okay, according to what I just Googled, archaeological evidence in Tennessee indicates that the first people to inhabit the state were Paleo Indians who lived from 15,000 through 8,000 BC. These nomadic people followed animals as they roamed, camping in caves and rock shelters and leaving behind arrowheads and spear points. They may have used these tools to hunt mastodon, and caribou in eastern Tennessee. Other prehistoric Indian cultures that lived in Tennessee included, I'm going to murder this, Archaic, Woodland, and Mississippi Indians. In colonial Tennessee, there were also about 7 tribes, including the Muskogee, which is Creek Indians, the Yucca, Yucci, and Chickasaw, Cherokee, Shawnee, and the Seneca. By the 18th century, the Cherokee were the only native people living permanently in Tennessee. That's amazing. True story. I mean, exactly. We never know, bro. I mean, yeah, just think about it. Because it wasn't discovered, people didn't know about it, and the ones that didn't probably know about it back in that day probably didn't tell nobody. That was like a hideout. You know what I mean? Just think about that for a second, guys. Jesse James, known to roam through Tennessee, had fucking ties to West Tennessee here close, and that not far from here. That could have been a hideout for him and his gang, where they met up and talked about robbing the train and shit, Wow, dude. I mean, there's no way to prove it, but it's a cool story. What year did Jesse James die? I don't even remember what year they put I think it was the late 1800s. Let's see. Jesse James. No, that's not the Jesse James that I was talking about, but holy shit. She don't look like an outlaw. Jesse James, born September 5th, 1847, and was killed April 3rd, 1882, was an American outlaw, bank and train robber, guerrilla, and leader of the James Younger Gang. Aha. Jesse and Frank James were later discovered living in Nashville under the fake names. Frank had settled down, but Jesse was restless and recruited new gang members. One of these members, Robert Ford, eventually shot and killed Jesse James for the $5,000 bounty. Let me see. So Jesse James lived in Tennessee for 2 years quietly. And that before they found, see, that's, I remember reading something about that. A Nashville Banner article in 1882 said that James lived in various locations in Nashville under the name J.D. Howard and portrayed himself as a wheat speculator. The paper said he played poker regularly, was gone a lot, and stayed clear of the law. So, Missouri and West Tennessee, where he's from and shit, he was in Missouri. He'd come down through here pretty close to it. Who's to say that they didn't know about it or discovered it? It's possible. That's nuts. A lot of speculation there, but hey, whatever. Wasn't uncommon for people to come from. See, they built the railroad, so yeah, it wasn't uncommon. Jesse James' original burial site was at the farm. His tombstone still remains, but his body has since been relocated to Mount Olive Cemetery in Canary, Missouri. You can visit Jesse's grave. That's crazy. Insane, guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If there has to be some kind of historical, yeah. I mean, just think about the possibilities are endless. We don't know how old it is or how long it's been there. I'm sure it's been there a long time. Let's just say that it is some type of a meteor. You know what I mean? That rock's been there for millions of years. But it has sunk down in the ground a bunch. But which makes sense because there's a creek nearby and it's, the ground is wet and then, yeah, it's like any foundation, like anything that when it, the earth gives way and it's gonna, of course, you get flooded in that area and build up. Y'all know, I don't have to tell you. When it floods, it makes sense. It pushes up more dirt up against it. So actually, it's not. You know what I mean? It probably has sunk some, but with erosion, from the creek and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. It could be one of the ones that killed the dinosaurs. Exactly. What if it was they said around 66 million years ago, an asteroid bigger than Mount Everest smashed into the Earth, killing off 3/4 of all life on the planet, including the dinosaurs. This much we know, but exactly how the impact of the asteroid caused all of those animals to go extinct has remained a matter of debate. Asteroid dust would have caused a 15-year winter. So it is very possible that they know where it landed, that the one that killed the most 75% of the plant life and animals on Earth. It was in the peninsula in Mexico, creating the Chicxulub crater, if I said that right, which is 150 kilometers across and 20 kilometers deep. What if this is a piece off of that? It could be possible. It was a meteor. If it was a meteor shower, I'm sure there was more than one. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? Okay, it's bad enough that one, you know what I'm saying? When it hit, it killed 75%. But when something that huge is coming through, it could have fell after the big one had already fell. You know what I mean? It would have to pull something else with it. It'd have to have a trail behind it. We've studied and found out, what if this is a piece off of that? Could you just imagine? I mean, we're talking some Armageddon shit here. A fucking rock as big as a bus falling from the sky after another huge ass rock that's the size of a skyscraper. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, it's just amazing. This rock could be 66 million years old. Think about that. Wow. Of course, we don't know what the world looked like 66 million years ago. You know, it probably triggered earthquakes, volcano eruptions. Oh, well, I'm sitting here talking about it. And look, the article says, yeah, it caused many, other possible killing mechanisms included soot spewing, wildfires, vast quantities of sulfur, and disruption of photosynthetic activity. Yeah. Huh. Dang, that is just crazy. Damn, they're saying that dinosaurs walked the earth before Adam and Eve. Of course, Adam and Eve were only around 6,000 years ago. That's crazy to think about some of this shit. Yeah. That's why I'd like to, because nobody's ever, we have echo technology now. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people send radar down into the ground. You know what I mean? I've seen people send, do radar. You could absolutely, to get an idea of how deep this rock is in the ground. Dude, that would be amazing. I wonder, see, that's something to think about, man. Why wouldn't you want to find out? I mean, because if there's no other formation like it around. It has sandstone like, according to the new study, but that's probably changed. Hell, that's old technology too, so it may not even be sandstone, like a sandstone quality. I mean, how the fuck would it get here? But see, here's something else too that you got to think about. Reelfoot Lake was created from an earthquake. We live on a fault line, and that from earthquakes. Where earthquakes, they don't happen very often. But what if what if? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, well, you know, it would to be as sunk down as far as it is and everything. Damn, dude, that can you imagine how much rock is underground? Now, see, curiosity. I'm not going to go out there with a shovel and start digging. You know what I'm saying? But just curiosity, I'd like to know. My question is, why hasn't anybody else that's lived here and that wanted to know? Well, it's just a fucking rock. Yeah, but it may be a historical rock. It could have had some change on history, and we don't know because we're not studying it. See, we need some archaeologists. We need to get archaeologists interested in this. It's not a new discovery, I know, but it could have some kind of a significance. Not only that, the history of the people that have lived around it, or maybe in the surrounding area. Oh yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. To even think about it. I mean, hell, Tennessee wasn't even a thing when this thing probably hit. You know, it was just flat Earth, ooga booga. Oh shit, big rock fall from sky. We did. You know, I'm making jokes now, but seriously, whatever, wherever it came from, it happened before people had recording tools, or if it was recorded down like on a rock or something like that, you know, scribed in and painted on a wall or painted somewhere, you know what I mean? History of that's lost. We don't know. The only way you're going to find out something or maybe even learn a little bit about it is to study it. You don't have to destroy it, but I think it's worth investigating. I would think so. Right. Let me look at something else. Let's see here. So this town was chartered and incorporated February 3rd, 1869. Big rock goes smash. Exactly. Big rock crash ground. Well, I know that the people that I've talked to and that have got me and several other people really excited about doing some work around it and cleaning it up because it is a community park and all that good shit. I believe, I'm not an expert, but I believe that it has some historical value that's worth looking into as far as the history of it and needs to be studied and looked into further. If it's just a big freaking rock that pushed up here or part of a mountain, where's the rest of the rocks? Is there other rocks like it around it? And if they were, they're probably gone. You know what I mean? They're probably buried under the ground. The only way you're going to know exactly how big it is use some of the technology like they did for the Titanic. Echo radar or whatever the hell it's called. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. This could be one of the contributing factors to the extinction of the dinosaurs. It's very possible. If indeed it is a meteorite and that fell out of space, just because it has some kind of a sandstone material in it, don't mean it's native to Tennessee. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But why is it in this area? How the hell did that big rock get here? Like KS said, is it possible that it was pushed up by the glaciers? It's very possible. Could it have been pushed up out of the ground from a major earthquake? That's possible too. But I've got another theory. If we took aerial photos, I wish I had a drone so I could fly above it and get some photos. Huh. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Aerial photos like above it, like with a drone. I think that'd be pretty cool, don't you think? I'm surprised somebody hadn't already done it. Man, now I'm really getting hyped up just thinking about, the possibilities. You know what I mean? Of what it could have been. let me go back and look at something while I'm sitting here thinking about it. All right, let me look at this real quick. Hollow Rock is one of the most unusual rock formations in Tennessee. First of all, there aren't any other rocks like it. Let's see, this was the one from 2009. Okay. But where was the other one? Yes, I know. Patsy Cline died right not too far from here. That's another thing people don't know. There was another song wrote about the town I live in. It was called the Carroll County Accident, and that was about Patsy Cline. They say that where she died, she didn't die. Her plane actually crashed in the next town over from here, in Benton County, Tennessee. Which, yeah, I could give you all the story about that. Which is kind of cool. All right, this is the one I wanted to see. See, this town used to be Sandy Bridge. Huh. The rock is about 50 feet long, 10 feet tall, and 15 feet wide. See the circular hole in the front? It's called Hollow Rock as the hole in one end of the tunnel, which runs all the way through it. Also, along the top of it forms a miniature bridge. Historically, there is evidence the Hollow Rock was used by Indians as shelters for centuries. So that's probably who carved the hole in the rock, because it's not perfectly round. Well, that would make sense. That would explain why it's got a hollow in it, a hollow spot like that. That I didn't even think about that. That makes sense. Maybe the Indians put that hole in the rock. That would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean, that would absolutely make sense. I mean, why wouldn't they? to use it as a shelter. Like cavemen. Maybe the cavemen done it. I don't know. But there again, see, there's the possibilities. That hole is too round. Let's be honest. That hole was carved in that rock. I'm almost sure of it. Now, after looking at the picture, I'm pretty sure it was carved out. That's not a natural hole. That is a big ass rock. I mean, that would make sense, right, guys? I mean, why else would it have? I mean, now that I think about it, that makes perfect sense, actually. Let me look at something else while I'm thinking about that. Makes fucking sense. Really does. What's this? Yeah. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, that would make sense, actually. Hmm. Damn. Yeah, makes a lot of sense, actually. Looking at some of these images. Hmm. Hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Huh. Yeah. I mean, look what the Aztecs did and other Indian tribes done with just primitive tools. And going back through the little history lesson that I've been given, the Indians that lived in this area, that would make sense. Before this actually became settled, like before the Civil War and all that stuff, probably late fucking 1300s or better. Or, you know what I mean? The different Indian tribes that were known to come through here. Yeah, that would make sense. What if they found the rock, and they dug a hole in it? And used it. I mean, it would make perfect sense. Huh. Somebody's carved that out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, somebody carved that. Some one or ones carved that out. And probably back in that day, that this rock was probably really fucking like above ground. You know what I mean? I mean, it was probably way the hell up there. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Maybe the chief and them had him carve out, and his family, and they just camped. The rest of the village camped around it. You know what I mean? Like the chief, lived inside the rock. You know what I mean? That was their home. You know what I mean? They probably had a flap over it and everything. That would make sense. I mean, because if you look at the pictures, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before, but I'm speculating that look. If you look at the hole from the Hollow Rock in Tennessee, Hollow Rock, Tennessee, it looks like it's been carved out. Probably a chisel or another rock. You know what I'm saying, or something. I'm sure there was an existing hole there before, but they just widened it so they could get in and out. And I could just envision it, man, like a whole tribe. You know what I mean? Encamped around it, and the chief and his family lived in that rock. I didn't even think about that until just now. And it makes sense too, because there's a water source there. That creek's been there probably for years, more years than we can even fathom. So, and at that time, it was probably a good stream for fishing. You know what I mean? It probably had fish. It was probably a good source of drinking water to bathe in downstream. I mean, oh yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, man. It's you know, when I was reading earlier about the Indians that came through here, if we go back and look at each individual tribe, and that I'm sure that they knew how to do stuff like that. You know, look at the Aztecs, man. They built cities out of rocks. You know what I mean? The Mayans done the same thing. And not even with the modern tools. And like, even, you know, over the years, I'm sure like the hobos and things like that, they probably chiseled it out a little bit with a hammer and chisel, you know what I'm saying? To make it big enough for where they could get in there and be safe, and that it's possible. I mean, you'd have to look at it. I next time I go down there, I'm gonna look at that. I never thought about inspecting that hole. Yeah, there's a stream right next to it. Yeah, there's a creek. I mean, it makes perfect sense that probably the Indians discovered it and probably made it, you know, why wouldn't they? They probably lived right here for a long time in this area. The game, even now, like the wildlife is amazing around here. There's deer and turkey and beaver. You know, imagine at that time, you know, there was nothing here other than the Indians. Very few houses, you know, if there was within miles. At the time the Indians were here, most of them would have probably been hundreds of miles away. But most likely this was unsettled. You know, they didn't settle it. They even said that, you know, that it wasn't settled until 1800s. It's very possible. Well, it does. The Big Sandy River is right down close to it, which this creek runs into the Big Sandy River. Which the river, well, it just makes sense because, damn, dude, I didn't even think about that until I'm just starting to put little pieces of the puzzle together. It makes perfect sense. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. But it still don't explain how the rock got here. But it explains the hole somewhat. An alien aircraft? Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible. I think some of the people are aliens around here, man. And I'm not talking about illegal aliens. I'm talking about extraterrestrial aliens because, yeah. Oh, yeah. It just makes perfect sense. And before the railroad came through here, there was nothing. But by the time the railroad came through in the late 1800s, and that, of course, we already know what happened there. They'd already done the Trail of Tears and everything, which the Trail of Tears run through right through here. And that when they forced the Indians, the Cherokee, the last tribe that was known in this area, to move. Bro, I can just see it. Like I mean, I can envision this. That was like the chief. The chief of the tribe. That's where he would live with his family. You know what I'm saying? Or his woman. And they lived in that rock. Of course, back in the day, it was probably higher up, and maybe people would camp, the other little whatever they built for shelter around it. But it would be like a symbol status. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, it makes sense. Like the high chief or maybe even the medicine man, lived in that rock. Or maybe they're shaman, because Indians had shamans. You know what I mean? That probably I can just envision it having like a deerskin flap over it and everything. It makes sense. They would have been the closest settlement, that the last settlement that would have been there before the railroad, and Sandy, whatever that person's name was that first moved here, Sandy Bridge, before it got the name Hollow Rock. Because by that time they'd already run the Indians off. They done when they settled it, when Sandy Bridge and them settled here in the old part of what is now present day Prospect Baptist Church. Then the railroad came in and bought up all the land, run the railroad through here. But probably 50 to 100 years prior to that, maybe even 200 years before that, there was probably Indians. You know what I mean? Maybe even 400 years before that. I know that sounds like a long time ago, but it's not implausible. It's not impossible. There could actually be Indian artifacts all out through there somewhere, where the Indian, it just makes perfect sense. Not only that, they could get in their little boats. They could probably have little canoes, probably had it cleared off, a little bit for. Well, I'm part Cherokee, part Irish, and part German. And probably a few other nationalities that I'm not aware of. But just from the study that my uncle has done and the genealogy that I've seen. But we've got a lot of Irish. A lot of Irish. But my grandmother was half Cherokee Indian. So I know that I've got Indian in me. I know I've got German, but that's a little off topic. Yeah. And it makes sense too, because even because it talked about, remember when we was talking about the history of the Indians that it was here? When that tribe had moved on, the Cherokee would have been all up and through West Tennessee here. And maybe the Cherokee lived out here. The Cherokee Indians. I'm sure they did. I'm sure there was different tribes of Cherokee Indian. something tells me in my tiny mind, which I'm not, I'm not no expert or anything, but that rock has some significant historical thing to it. The hole being in it the way it is, and that makes perfect sense. Well, yeah, I'm sure they branched off, and the Indians were here long before us. But even like, before the land bridge was destroyed, even like from different parts of the world, up from South Africa and things like that, people traveled. And of course, they don't teach that in school anymore. Only us old folks will remember about the land bridges because they don't teach that shit no more. Hell, they're going to keep on in school, and they're going to be teaching everybody that we came from Uranus and we all flew down in fucking rocket ships or something. See what I done there? Mm. But I'm almost sure that I can tie this area into at least 4 different Indian tribes that were here in this area, just from the studies that I've done. Yeah, I know. 100%. They don't want you in their international waters. That's for sure. This has been a good discussion. I'm having fun just thinking about, the history that is here. You know what I'm saying? Just from let me see here. Let me look at something real quick. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Many tribes lived in West Tennessee, including Chickasaw, Choctaw, and UCHI. The Chickasaw were the oldest, according to what I the predominant early Indian tribes in Tennessee were the Cherokee and the Chickasaw. The Choctaw of West Tennessee are the only native speaking American Indian community in Tennessee. The Trail of Tears and the forced relocation of Cherokee Nation. Yeah. See, I remember that. See, I was just talking about that. I don't know nothing about this Indian tribe. I got to look them up. I've never even heard of them. I didn't even know they freaking existed. I gotta look these guys up. I'm gonna open another search bar here. Our Native American tribe from Oklahoma, whose original homeland was in the southeastern United States. During the 16th century, they lived in the eastern Tennessee River Valley. Ethnon historians believe that there were three main UCHI bands during this time. One on the Tennessee River, one in the West Florida, and one on the Savannah River. The Yucachai population likely never exceeded 3,000 to 5,000 people. In 1530s, Hernando de Soto, exploring the region from Spain, makes early contacts with that tribe of the Indian, the Yucachai. 1630s, Yucachai warriors attacked Spanish settlements in Florida. 1700s, the Yucachai became associated with Creek speaking towns in Alabama and Georgia. The Yucachai from Savannah River relocated to the Chattahoochee River around 1715 and joined the Creek Confederacy. 1813, the Yucachai allied with the Creek Nation against the U.S. government in 1813. 1832 to 1836, the Yucachai are removed with the Creek Indian to Indian territory. Yucachai, who lived in Tennessee, joined the Cherokee and are absorbed into the Seminole. Oh wow, that makes perfect freaking sense. Well, it would make sense if they would know how to, like, coming from Oklahoma, that's rocky. Huh. That makes a lot of sense, actually. which makes a lot of freaking sense. Pinson Mounds, of course. If you don't, Pinson Mounds, and that is a they know it's an Indian. I don't know what that the Indian lives there, which makes sense. Oh, with the different tribes. Hmm. Huh. That makes a lot of freaking sense. The Yuchi. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. See, Yuchi. Yuchi. Well, y'all can't see because, yeah, you don't. Huh. Oh, they came from the Greek. Makes sense. Dude, they have a lot of things to do with like rocks too, from what I'm reading, and that would make freaking perfect sense. Dude. I know I've said dude like 50 times. Euchi is the preferred spelling from the Uchi in Oklahoma. It's not clear where his spelling of the same sounds. Okay. The Euchi is the only one found in Florida. The name. South Carolina and Georgia, Alabama, who were direct contact with the blah blah blah. It just makes sense. Wow, this is just amazing. I'm gonna have to come back and read that later. I'm probably boring people, but yeah. It makes perfect sense. Just makes perfect freaking sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure, bro. I never even thought about it. I mean, till now. I mean, like the ghost hunting thing. Yeah, that'd be great. I wish there was something prior to, you know, there's just so many possibilities of the things that of like historic things that could have happened with that rock. You know, that rock's been there years, probably millions of years. It has to be, bro. You know, it's just, yeah. Too bad we couldn't age it, get some kind of idea how old it is. If I had to guess, during the time that the meteorites were being pulled into the Earth's gravitational pull. You're talking 66, 65 million years ago ish. Because what if it was part of the one? It came with the, you know how like meteorites, when they're coming to they'll pick up other, you know what I mean? What if this was a trail tailing off of the actual meteorite that fell into Mexico that affected the dinosaurs, pretty much setting the Earth into a 15-year winter, which killed the dinosaurs. It didn't kill all life, but it killed the dinosaurs. What if this was a trail tailing off of that, and it came to rest? You know what I mean? It's possible. It's very possible that I'm sure that, there was other meteorites pulled into, you know what I'm saying? That's probably just, they don't even know, that had landed with it. They're probably all over the place. Oh yeah, bro. There's no telling how much rock is underground, and the only way you would know is to do like I said, like an echo, like they done, like an echo measurement. Now I know they have small machines that you can do it with to get maybe some idea. I don't know how much rock is underground, and may never know. I mean, my God, there's no way. I mean, I don't even think you could fucking dig it all up. If it impacted the Earth, there's no telling the hell. Could you imagine a rock the size of one of the Twin Towers being buried under the ground? It's probably not that big, but I'm just saying that it could be. It would make sense if the big meteor that fell out of the sky, landed in New Mexico. Depending on, you'd have to get location, longitude, do all that math stuff and see. But once the tailing from the meteorite, the big one that fell, once they hit the Earth's atmosphere, they would lose the gravitational pull and come crashing down. You know what I mean? I can just envision like it going across like what is present day New York or someplace like that, going toward Mexico, depending on which way it came from. Well, if it comes from the other direction of the Earth, out of the sky, like from California side into Mexico, could you just imagine? And then the tailings spread out all across, and shit. Because even in an impact, you'd have to look and see. That's why aerial photos would be important. Ground penetrating radar to see how big the area of the rock is. It's very possible. That's what I'm saying. It's very possible. And then, you'd have to do a computer generated simulation to see, but you'd have to know like distance, rate of travel, when it come into the Earth's atmosphere, that thing must have been flying. You know what I mean? Because it carved out like a massive hole when it hit. But this whole Earth, this whole place around here would have been different. So, like the scars from that rock, something maybe the size of a bus, an SUV. You know what I mean? The scars and that would be healed because it is by a water source, and there's been flooding. You have to take that into consideration. There's been a lot of flooding, eroding, rebuilding of the earth, and that from like from the creeks and the rivers. There's a lot of rivers around here. Maybe yeah. Because there's other little like meteor showers, that probably started off and then it picked up that big rock, when it was coming past, being pulled into the sun, other rocks came with it, and we don't know how big they were. I know it's crazy to think about it, but it's possible. 65 million years ago, there ain't no telling what was floating around out in space. 66, 67 million years ago, give or take a million years. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It could have fell. It could have fell afterwards. You know what I mean? Maybe being pulled into the gravitational pull. You just never know. We don't know. We'd actually have to find out. That the only way you're going to know if it's plausible, how old the rock is, for one. Maybe do some aerial studies to see which possible path it took. I know that's a lot of ifs. Sorry, I was looking at my security camera. I heard something, and there's a damn trash panda running around outside. Yes, I said trash panda, raccoon. And there's other meteors that have been found and discovered here in Tennessee that are huge. That would make sense, though. Huh. if it's a meteor, I can almost tell what path it came in just by looking at the video of it. And how it came to rest. I can envision it, bro. I feel it. Makes perfect sense. When you slow a video down, that's crazy. But yeah. It could be a lot of things considering that we live on a fault line and a volcano. You know, there's like, you know what I'm saying? Not like a volcano, but like we live on that fault line. You know, go look at the history of the earthquake. It's from it created Reelfoot Lake. That's a big damn earthquake. To create an entire lake, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we've had several earthquakes here. Magnitude of 3.8 earthquake in Tennessee, felt over 100 miles. Yeah, that makes sense. Reelfoot Lake, excuse me, is man-made. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. It wasn't caused by an earthquake. Yeah, man, you get all kinds of like platelets and fucking fault lines and shit like that get rumbling and crumbling around and stuff. Maybe it's something that got pushed up. You know what I mean? Got pushed up out of the ground. Who knows? Now it's sinking back in. But I don't think it's volcanic. It's definitely not. But yeah. But it could have got pushed up out of the ground. I don't know. You know, this fucking thing was probably huge in that before it fell to the ground. I mean, wonder how much of the rock actually burned up. Just think about that. The one that killed the dinosaurs, you know, or caused the climate change, the weather change, killing off vegetation, blah blah blah. You know, not just all at once wiped out the dinosaurs, but led to the. Can you imagine how big it was before it actually hit the Earth's atmosphere and burnt? Some of it burnt up coming down. This is what I'm talking about. Pieces of that would have burnt off and fell. You know what I mean? Like chunks, like this rock. We're talking like some major fucking Armageddon shit. I mean, yeah. Birds and fucking animals running around and shit, you know, seeing all this and being all freaked out. It would be the equivalent of a nuclear war. It would. It's exactly what it would be like. I can understand why there was a 15-year winter. Makes perfect sense. Or at least it makes perfect sense to me. Because now I can sit here and envision it, you know, envision what I'm talking about. I can let my imagination. And during this period of time, what human life was here 65 million years ago would have eaten meat instead of vegetation. And that's why we stopped. That's why humans stopped being vegetarians. And it makes sense too, because meat would keep a long time. It'd be cold. And then they just have to cook it, you know. And I'm sure during that time, that's when we discovered fire to keep warm. Probably off the meteorites when it fell to the ground. It makes sense. Not like I've solved the world mystery or anything, guys. I'm not saying that. I'm sure somebody else has had the same thought, you know, and even wrote books. I'm sure. I haven't, but I'm just sitting here thinking about that in my mind. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, just imagine, like I said, just imagine what burned off of it and probably shot in many different directions. Could this be a burn off? It would make sense if it was coming in. That would, I mean, it's possible because it could have been a tailing, you know, following behind the big meteor. And this son of a bitch could be a burn off of that, you know, and it makes sense too, looking at the rock. You can see, like, if you look from the front of it, not where the hole is, but from the front of it, like how it streamlines, like the ass end of it. It just makes perfectly sense. And probably when it was soft and it hit the ground, it done like a little shift. Part of it probably broke. You know what I mean? I can envision it like the part that was hot when it hit the ground probably shoved up over the other part, and then the same effect like down further in the layer. And that, I'm sure y'all have seen molten hot rock, how that shit happens. And we don't know where it came from. I mean, we don't even know. So this rock could be 65 million, 66, 67 million years old. Right. Absolutely. But I'm sitting here like looking at the video. Boom, right here. Let me stop. It would make perfectly good sense. It's 3 different layers. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. When it hit, the one layer shoved above, and then the rain and flooding has eroded out the other parts of it, like washed out the dirt and stuff and that, so you can see it. It makes perfect sense. The second layer, this was the part that hit first, and the middle layer like shoved into this other part, and then the piece that come down over the top like shoved forward or maybe even settled back. Of course, the water could have carved a lot of this out too, but it's cool to imagine that what I'm thinking is possible. Oh no, yeah. Like, it's very possible. I just may have accidentally just solved 2 parts of the history on this rock. People are probably going to listen to this and be like, damn, he's talking about a rock. Yeah, I am. I'm actually talking about a rock. It just makes sense. Wow. Just think about, man, if you could date it, and could go back in time and watch it actually hit, that'd be great. Well, it's hollowed out inside, so that tells me right there that some tribe at some point lived in it. You know what I mean? Of course, it was up higher and taller, at one point. It was probably because it's hollowed out. You can crawl all the way through it. So something was living inside of that rock. before the hobos jumped off of a train and lived in it. My guess is early Indians. They probably carved out, the hole, and probably the chief, or I can just envision, like the Indians that were settled in here carved out that hole. And that makes sense too. I mean, because it's right near a water source, all the hunting ground that's around, because this area is just full of turkey and deer and squirrel and beaver and muskrat. I mean, it just and fish. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, yeah. It'll make a good video anyway. Maybe it's a home to Bigfoot. Maybe Bigfoot lives there now. Now I'm getting ridiculous. That was a joke. I'm just kidding. I think all the Sasquatches moved up into the higher mountains. See what I've done there? Well, I'm glad y'all have sat here and listened to me talk for almost 3 hours about a rock. But I'm passionate about it. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I want to know. But we are going to clean up around it. I can't speak for the past. I don't know what happened in the past. But I can make a difference for the future. Maybe get a plaque made up, telling about the history of when it was discovered for future generations. Yeah. That makes sense, don't it? Maybe fight real hard to get it recognized some way or another. I know. You hear the train. You're going to hear it through my security camera again. That was one short blow. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, that's the question. Well, we know that hobos hopped off the train and used it for shelter. So, and that was the late 1800s, when the train first come in and everything. Yeah, it's a community park. And that's why I'm going to get people together and we're going to clean it up, I want to make a difference. Dude, can you imagine Like it could be a place where people could come and study it. You know, it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of potential for this little town. Local businesses could benefit from people coming to visit, but it has to be made nice, you know, and make for sure that nobody's destroying it. Well, I appreciate all 4 people that are sitting here right now listening to me talk. I appreciate you. You must be interested some way or another. Yeah. That's why I was saying that, you know, that they need to start enforcing it when people go down there and mudding and tearing shit up with their 4-wheeler and spray painting it and everything else. That would be considered vandalism, and they need to be prosecuted for it. You know what I mean? Somebody goes, well, you can't prosecute somebody for damaging private property. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, I can't drive up in your yard with my truck and do donuts in your yard and then get out and spray paint your house. That's private property. That made no sense, somebody saying that. That'd be like me driving by your yard, man, and be like, oh, look, there's a mud hole in your yard. And go out there with my 4-wheel drive and just rip through it and, you know, run back and forth and make big ruts in your yard and everything just because you got a mud hole. You know what I'm saying? And then get out and put on there James Loves Mary on the side of your house. And then throw cans out in your yard. And then leave. Guess what's going to happen to me if I do something like that, guys? I'm going to jail. Well, the people that own the land gave the right of way to the city to put the park there, to make it a park. And it is maintained by the city and the state. You know what I'm saying? But it can be classified as a historical site because the town of Hollow Rock was founded because of that rock, the discovery of it. The people that discovered it, they named the town after it. Then what is now present day Brewston, and that was Hollow Rock Junction when they put the train in. And now it is Brewston Hollow Rock, because and that it's two different municipalities. Both Brewston has their own department, police department. We have our own police department, but the town is connected. The two towns are connected, if that makes sense. Two different mayors, two different city halls. Yeah, but they're the same, if that makes sense. Because the school is called Brewston Hollow Rock. And the only reason they separated the two at one point was because of HIS, which that goes into the near history of the town and that. But the railroad played a big part, and that the rock was discovered when they started putting the railroad in. I wish they'd have took photographs of it. You know, he's going back talking about that where 100 people gathered here. I wish I could find old photographs of that. That'd be amazing. Can you imagine back in that time, 100 people showing up in the late 1800s? Somebody had to take pictures. Here we are, over 100 years later. Maybe even 200 years later. Wow, think about that. I have to remember what it said. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, bro. Might be some old photos tucked away somewhere. Before 1867, Hollow Rock did not exist. In this year, the Nashville and Northwestern Railroad was complete, so a station and telegraph office were opened and given the name Hollow Rock, taking its name from a large rock nearby. Huh. This settlement, and let's see, before 1867, the town of Hollow Rock, Tennessee did not exist. In this year, the Nashville and Northwest Railroad was complete. A station and telegraph office opened, and was given the name of Hollow Rock, taking its name from a large rock nearby. Prior to this, there was a small settlement on the Memphis to Bristol Stage Road at the intersections of Paris Road, located a few feet east of the present-day Prospect Baptist Church. The Stage Road is known as U.S. Highway 70. The settlement was called Sandy Bridge and was established in 1830. The settlement had a post office, which is also served as the stage office, and a log inn. Zephaniah Harris was the postmaster and innkeeper. At the time, there were few bridges across the streams, and a bridge across the Big Sandy River was noteworthy enough to inspire the name of the settlement, Sandy Bridge. A Frenchman making a tour of this country in the winter of 1832 described his stay at the inn as Tusley, Thusly. Sandy Bridge is nothing but a small inn built of logs. In the room where I write this, there are 3 beds, of which stopping travelers, whatever their numbers of or sex, throw themselves, and an immense fire burns in the chimney. One freezes in this room, despite a fire which would roast an ox just a little while, which would roast an ox just a little while ago. I wanted to take a glass of water that had been brought to me, but so imprudent as to leave it 5 minutes without drinking it, and I found it frozen. Andrew and Lundica McMacken own a 67-acre tract of land adjacent to the new station. In 1867, they had this land laid off in streets and number the lots. Most of these lots were north of the railroad, but somewhere south of the tracks between the railroad and Hollow Rock Creek, the streets were not named until later. A street just north of the railroad, running east and west, became Front Street. The next east and west street was Main, and the next Cedar. The streets running north and south were as follows: beginning on the west side of the town, Spring Street, Cemetery Street, later changed to Seminary Street, and Depot Street, which soon became and still is a gully. They were followed by Hotel Street, named for a hotel started but never finished at the east end of the Front Street. Seminary and Depot Streets were connected to Front Street by alleys. The first recorded deed to the N.B. Lip, who bought several lots between the railroad and the creek, and 2 lots on the front streets between Hotel Street and an alley. Andrew and Lunica both signed these deeds, but Andrew died before the others were signed. Therefore, all were signed by Lunica. Both Andrew and Lunica are buried in a private cemetery at the north end of Spring Street. Then it goes on and tells that they unincorporated in 1869. There's no record of who the officials were and why this was done. In 1911, the town was once again incorporated by F.A. Penrick as mayor. Aldermen were A. Nunley, S.F. Holcomb, W.M. Edwards, and J.P. Cooper, and J.A. Hill. The town's first doctor was Dr. Joe T. Hensley, a brother-in-law of the N.B. Lippy. He began practicing medicine in 1868 and built a home at the north end of the Hotel Street. Damn. Now get this. In 1875, now this is crazy. In 1875, there was a small school located on a road coming into town from the northwest and beginning a little west of present-day Mill Street. Okay, I'm not going to give you the address, but I live on Mill Street. In 1875, the Methodist Church was built and began operating a school on site of the present-day Prospect Methodist Church. The school was named the West Tennessee Seminary. The school remained in operation until 1887, when the Methodist Conference voted to give the building and grounds to the people of Hollow Rock for a public school. After a time, the building was moved to the north end of Seminary Street and rebuilt as a 2-room school. I'm not going to sit here and read all this. This is a lot to read, but yeah. Wow, there's a lot to read here. Yeah. Huh. I'll have to read that sometime in that, but yeah, that's a lot. What up, Michael? What you doing, buddy? Roll Tide, motherfucker. Yeah, it was yeah, they used to have Heritage Day here and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know why it stopped either. Crazy, man. Yeah, man, we're doing pretty good. We've just been doing a lot of cleanup around here and stuff. I got half my backyard plowed up, man. Yeah, we had a guy with a tractor and a bucket come in here and just pushed over some trees and yeah. Got all of my front yard cleaned up really good. Just been a lot of things going on. Whole lot of stuff going on. Hell, just turned 50. All that good shit, man. Yeah. we got a guy. He's going to bring in a dump trailer. We're going to load all that old junk out of the back there, and yeah, it's funny what you can find when you start digging around, and pushing shit around, man. We found a swimming pool back there and all kinds of damn stuff. I discovered a storm cellar that I didn't know was there. It's 10 foot wide. It's a pretty deep son of a bitch too. Got a metal roof on it. I mean, yeah. Right? I feel every bit of that 50 too. Oh. Of course, me and Tim, we shared the birthday, remember, man? And I sat and had an ice cream for Tim. God bless his soul, man. Hard to believe he's been gone almost 3 years. Yeah, that's what I'm fixing to do to this one up here, upstairs and downstairs too. I'm going to start on this one up here. Just a lot of things. Hell, I'm going to pull this pool table out of here probably the next couple of weeks. I'm going to pull it out of here and get rid of it and redo this room here. Not remodel it, but just redo it. Just clean it up, Way too much shit. I got sheds and storage units and everything else just busting at the seams with too much junk. It's got to go. Well, it's not really junk, but yeah, you know how it is. Hell. I posted a video where we hauled off a load of scrap and that guy picking up that lawnmower, man, with that arm. That was cool as shit watching that riding lawnmower fly through the air. So that's great. That video had over 1,000 views, which is kind of cool. People like that shit, I guess. I watch it every once in a while. I just like watching the lawnmower and the refrigerator fly through the air. Like, whee! That old riding lawnmower was heavy. That sucker weighed almost 800 pounds by itself. I couldn't believe how heavy that joker was. Yeah, I know. I was just in a hurry. And that we just been trying to get all this cleaned up and that the city was a little unhappy about shit, and you know how that goes. Yeah. Of course, I probably didn't help the situation none. I made a few people mad around here. They don't like it when you hold people accountable for their stuff, you know? Yeah. Yeah, we got some stuff now at back where when we pushed around some dirt and shit and everything. I've got a big load. I got probably a 16-foot trailer I got to take off full of scrap. 2 refrigerators, we've tore them down and pulled all the aluminum out of them and copper and stuff like that. Separated the motors, and then I've put like stuff inside the refrigerators, little pieces of like metal that we found and all that good stuff, just buried. I found a damn swimming pool back there. I didn't even know what was in there. Yeah, well, it's not that it's not that I was trying to piss anybody off, but I love this little community that we live in, and there's just no accountability for so then we had a stalker, and that was the main reason I'd quit with YouTube for a while. We had a stalker, sent death threats, and then said some pretty nasty stuff. And the scary part about that was I didn't know who it was, and come to find out it was a little 19-year-old boy that was obsessed with Harley, and less than a mile and a half away, bro. Can you believe that? I mean, that's scary to think about something like that. That he was following her like on social media and watching, like our YouTube, and that's why he sent me email. It was a big deal. I almost went to jail. Not going to say that I didn't show my ass, but I did show my ass really bad, and I'm not sorry for it when it comes to my kids. I'm sorry. The things that he said, yeah. Yeah, he's serving 15 years. They got him for terroristic stalking, and I don't know, it's just a whole list of things. Yeah, they gave him 15 years. And the crazy part about it was, come to find out, he was living with a 15-year-old girl. He convinced that 15-year-old girl, bro, it's twisted. Living with had a 15-year-old girl living with him, and that got her convinced to move away from her grandmother, and it was a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. Let's just put it this way. When I found out where he lived, if it hadn't been for family members, I'd probably be in jail. Because, yeah. Well, when it comes to my kids, I don't care. They can call it justice, whatever the hell they want to call it, But when it comes to my kids, and I know you're the same way, the best thing that happened to him, law enforcement got to him before I did. I'll put it that way. That was the best thing that happened to him. But people like him don't have a real easy time in prison either. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be pretty for him, I don't think. Oh, I've been watching. I've been watching that whole freaking thing with Lynott and John Crook and oh yeah, and those two also. Yeah, I've been watching. I watched both sides. Yeah. I'm just shaking my head. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, you know. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but between those two, man, that whole freaking scenario, man, is crazy. I was watching the video where they were both at the auction, and man, I don't even know what to think about that. That whole thing was just like, what? I know it. I was just like, somehow or another, I don't know. I know there's people that are closer to the situation and that, but I remember a little situation that happened about 4 years ago, and when people spoke out about it, and that both of them turned on everybody, and it was some big publicity thing. You know what I mean? Or that's how they played it off, and yeah, it's just whatever. I like watching Jeebus and Treasure Hunt with Jeebus. I watch him a lot. I still watch Storage Auction Pirates and Locker Nuts, and yeah, I watch a lot of those guys. Have a good one, buddy. Be safe. Hug the family. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is almost 2:00 in the morning, my time. And I appreciate everybody that's been here, that's listened. But I've got to get the kids up in the morning for school and all that good stuff. Appreciate all you guys. Love yous and have a good night.